Aside from being Dark Angels?
Yeah. Dark Angels are like very top tier, right? Now we got like second best Marine faction right now, even GW, and they're like 57% win rate compared to the 60 that Dark Angels currently have.
Yeah, they're up there for sure. They are very, very strong. People are saying, you didn't lose, you just got Iron Hands. You didn't actually lose. You don't feel bad if you lose to Iron Hands. They're really OP. And we're going to show you 10 of the reasons why, or top 10 picks that we have for the army. And they're all really good. What's up, Phil? What's the issue?
Are you streaming? Not seeing anything.
Not seeing anything?
Why is it giving you the notification of the stream
No,
now?
is it on YouTube? Did you turn on YouTube? Did you like start streaming on YouTube?
It says
no, you did that, but you have to do it on YouTube as well, don't you?
Phil, you're interrupting our stream.
Phil!
What's wrong with you guys? So back to business. We're going to be hiring AI to take Phil's position in the streaming part of our business.
Yeah.
No. I don't know what's going on today. Some weird stuff with some of the internet providers here. But let's go into what we're talking about.
Sure.
Iron Hands. So, yeah, top 10 units. We kind of made this list together, what we think. I play Iron Hands. Obviously, you play Raven Guard, but you know Marines. So
Marines are Marines. Like it's very easy to like supplement here and there. It just comes down to whichever strengths are good for certain chapters. You'll see on this list we have, there's going to be a lot of vehicles, which you won't really see in other lists, simply because Iron Hands are just so good with them. Yeah,
they're just really good. Starting from the bottom here, as Drake says, should we go with, this is my pick. Is that your pick for 10th as well?
Yes.
Okay. So this is who we think number 10 is for Iron Hands. Primaris Lieutenant.
Yep.
And yeah, go
not
on.
just only, like any variant of lieutenant will work. Whether it's Primaris Lieutenant, regular Lieutenant with the jump pack, whatever loadout you want, he's just really there for, I think, in my opinion, just the reroll 1 to wound.
Yeah, and like you're bringing him for your core stuff, so it's like you're gonna have him near your like, Contemptors and your Redemptors that all have core. He's not gonna be moving with anything quick, so I don't really think you need a jump pack to save the points for that. I like the Lieutenant Primaris because you can give him transhuman. He has an extra wound. He has an extra attack. But again, if you want to save points, just go with the regular Libby. I mean, regular.
We actually checked that.
What?
The regular Lieutenant is 70 points. This guy here is 65 points.
He's cheaper.
Yeah, the Primaris Lieutenant
there you go.
This is the only Primaris unit that's actually cheaper than the, the regular firstborn variants.
Yep. That's why I was taking a Primaris in my list. I believe I just remember that now because even the Tech Marine, they're the same price, right? Like a regular Tech Marine and a Primaris Tech Marine are the same price.
I just thought they were 5 points more expensive.
No, I think they're the same price. Fact check that, but I'm pretty sure they're the same, right? Yeah. So.
Lieutenant's 5 points more.
No. Talking about Tech Marines.
Is the Tech Marine 5 points more expensive than the Primaris Tech Marine, or the vice versa?
I'll check.
I think they're exactly the same. If I remember, that's why I put Primaris Tech Marines in my Iron Hands list. And if I remember correctly, that's why I took a Lieutenant that is Primaris as well. He's cheaper.
We'll talk about him after because he's in this list.
But he's good. Number 10, bring him along. Give rerolls to your Contemptor. Give rerolls wounds to your Redemptors. Anything else? Besides that, he's just a Lieutenant.
Just a character.
But he's good. In this army, he's really good. Rerolls make this army so much better because then you have you're going to be in heavy dock the whole way through.
Yep.
You're going to get, everybody's a captain. They're all going to get their reroll ones. And having reroll ones to wound is huge.
It costs the same.
It costs the same.
So, Tech Marine and Primaris Tech Marine are the same cost, which is insane.
Yeah, Tech Marine. So always go there's no reason not to go Primaris for a Tech Marine because they're exactly the same.
Going back to the whole Lieutenant thing.
Yep.
With Iron Hands, most of your weapons are going to be wounding things on like 3s or 2s. So having that reroll 1 to wound is just fantastic.
Yeah.
Everything in your army, whether it's core or not, as long as it's a heavy weapon, gets free rerolls because of their super doctrine. Right. So you're just going to nuke things off the board. That reroll 1s to wound really helps everything. Just like crunch down enemies, more weighted dice, just eliminate your opponent.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about what that combos with as we go along here because some of the things do actually help from that a lot. But going down to the 9th, well, Anthony didn't write 9th. Oh, he wrote 8th. Oh, he wrote 8. You got it right. Give Anthony a clap. The iron clap. Do you have that as 9 as well?
I would have him somewhere on the list, this unit here. It's more just a general useful unit. In terms of just Iron Hands itself.
What would you put in 9th, and then we can make an adjustment?
Based off what you have there, you basically have everything I really want.
Yeah,
on
but
that
this
list.
is 9th right now. So what do you think?
I think in terms of a general list for like Iron Hands or Space Marines in general, they're a very good choice.
So you have
So
them at
I would
9th?
put them there.
Okay. I agree. They're first of all, they deny they're infiltrators, by the way. Oh, Phil has something good up here, so I can just click this, starting from the bottom, right, Phil? So we can have we're gonna have some stats and stuff pop up for the next ones. We're just trying out a new Roadmaster Judge pick. Phil, it's not coming up.
You gotta hide the top.
You gotta hit the eye of the top, not the group, the one below the group.
Okay, I got it. There you go. So, thank you. These guys, obviously the 12-inch, outside of 12, denial for deep strike, things like that. Besides that, you can infiltrate them forward. We know for Dark Angels, that's really powerful because you can score right from the first turn. They're secondary. But for Iron Hands, really, they're just great deep strike denial. They're cheap, and put a unit, maybe 2 units back on your backfield, deny deep strikes, and let your heavy hitting boys move forward.
Yeah, they got a points decrease overall from Arcs of Omen, so
Yeah.
they're probably the best troop choice.
They're 90 now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the cheapest troop choice for Space Marines right now,
Yeah.
and the best troop choice,
Yeah.
I would say.
So 2 units of 5 or 1 unit of 5?
I think 1 unit 5 is enough just
More
to
than enough?
plant everything along the back line. Arcs of Omen, you don't even need troops that much, right?
Nope.
Have these guys on an objective turn 1. They can leave it wherever they want because you're Space
Yeah.
Marines. You just hold that objective even if you leave.
Yep.
And then the rest of your army, your, I don't know, like 1,930 points worth of your units, just pushes out and just becomes oppressive and obnoxious.
Yeah. So, and like you just said, now with Space Marines, they can sit on an objective, claim it, and then leave and go somewhere
Yes.
else. Yeah.
Then another thing with these guys, they have a strat where they can leave the board if they're at the table edge, come back in from reserves
Yeah.
as normal. So if you need to do, say, Arcs of Omen data somewhere else, or you need a denial somewhere else as well, just put them in reserve. Next turn they come back in somewhere else, just being very annoying.
They're like a poor man's swooping hawks.
Yeah, basically. You have to pay for it though.
And
So,
you do have to pay for it. But the 12-inch denial is really nice. Like this is why this is why you don't pay the extra 10 points to get, like, let's say, Stalker Bolt or Intercessors. Like, I would take these guys over that. Not because, obviously, they're going to do more damage for you. Those Stalker Bolters are doing 2 damage or AP3 in the Dev Doctrine. But these guys are going to give you that 12-inch bubble, so people are going to be like, they can come in, but they won't be able to charge you in that first turn or that first time when they come down because it has to be outside of 12.
Yeah.
I think that's huge right now.
it's also, like, you got to think, like, even for, Warp Locust for demons?
Yeah.
You're forced to be outside of
Outside of
12
that
inch
bubble,
because
yeah.
this rule truncates, I believe, whatever demons have for, like, Warp Strike,
Yep.
right? Or,
and remember,
Warp
with Warp Locust, you have to be wholly within
Yes.
when you're coming in. So this screws that up big time.
Yeah, so very good unit. Just even outside of Iron Hands, it's very good for Ultramarines, Dark Angels, as we said before. Any type of flavor of Marine, these units are just fantastic to take.
We might do an actual tactics with them because we were thinking of doing a tactics for Marines, and I don't know if you want to talk about that now, but how much does that screw over? Like, not that people are using it anymore that much, but the web gate. How much can that unit screw over the web gate? Because that's wholly within as well. So you can actually go right beside it and nobody can come out.
Yep,
Yeah,
it's fantastic. It's a great idea.
They're great.
I love these units.
All right, moving on to number 8. It's going fast. I have this guy. Do you agree, or
I
you
would
say
put him up
higher?
there, honestly.
I'm good with that. I just put him there because I want it to be
He deserves a lot
cheeky.
higher.
like here.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Because
So
every
okay.
competitive list, you're going to see that guy.
Yeah, 100%. Do you want to say this over here then? Because
This unit?
or them? I think they're up there. Like they're hitting on 2s, re-rolling
Yeah.
1s. I say they go
We're
there.
keeping this the suspense for people.
Suspense. We got this in 8th, I think, unless you
The
change my mind.
Storm Speeder Thunderstrike.
Hitting on 2s, auto. You mean everybody's re-rolling 1s? We all know that. It's got all heavy weapons, strength 10, one shot strength 10, D6 damage. That's the only thing. All their weapons are D6 damage besides the multiple rockets there. They do 2 damage, and I think they're strength 7.
So I know they have a twin last talon on them, which is
2 shots.
24-inch last cannons.
Strength 9, yep.
And then a bunch of other weapons.
They have one. Well, you can take basically 1 shot with the missile. It's strength 10, AP4, or becomes AP4, and it's
So Storm Speeder
D6,
Thunderstrike. Here
yeah.
we go. Stormfury missiles, which is heavy 1, strength 10, AP minus 3, D6.
That's the one I'm talking about, yeah.
Thunderstrike blast cannon, heavy 2, strength 9, AP minus 3, D6 shot damage. And then Twin Icarus rocket pod, heavy 2D3, strength 7, AP minus 1, 2 damage. So it's just, you're also hitting on 2's base.
That's the thing. You're hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s. You're automatically hitting with these guys, and they're big shots. Like you're gonna. It's anti-tank. It's hard not to take this unit. A couple of them with Iron Hands. It's just so consistent.
Well, here's the thing that I like about the most. It's fast.
It
has fly as well.
Yeah.
It can move over terrain, turn 1, just get the alpha strike in, shoot everything you need to do with the heavy doctrine. You're going to guarantee like doing heavy damage to something. That's there to score you, especially the Codex Warfare, which is really important. And even if it dies, it's still toughness 6, 10 wounds, and it has 3-up save.
It's got more than 10 wounds, doesn't it?
More than 10 wounds.
I think so, yeah. Or maybe it does have 10 wounds. You can check that. Maybe
I'll
12?
check that right now.
I was thinking more like 12. So it would be equal to 2 land speeders.
10 wounds.
10 wounds, so it's less than 2 land speeders.
You owe me $10.
Hey, we didn't make a bet. So my 2 land speeders have more wounds in it than the one I'm running at the tournament. Okay, but it's still really good. Like hitting on 2s is huge.
Yes, if you take 1 or 2, your opponent's not going to expect it, and these things are fast.
They are.
Have your land speeders act as a secondary, like land speeders I would say as your primary screen. Send them up first, use them as distraction with the multi-meltas because they're cheap as chips also.
70
When they go after your land speeders, you send these guys in afterwards, whether it's 1 of them or 2 of them with the rest of your army. These guys are going to hit even harder. Your opponent's going to regret going after the land speeders when they should have been worrying about these guys, hitting on 2s especially. Yeah,
the D6 is a little swingy. Like I like the D3 plus 3, but that's what they are. But they're hitting on 2s. You can't complain with these guys. So put them there. And then going on to what we were talking about, do you agree they're there?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're both agreeing that 7th spot are land speeders. Same kind of thing, only difference they're hitting on 3s. And the great thing about tornado land speeders, you're getting 6 shots from your autocannon and then multi-melta. Rerolling 1s on everything. Hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, and that's ridiculous. You're anti-tank, you're anti-horde, because you're going to get 6 shots apiece. You can take 3 of them in a squad, or 2 of them, and go into like 3 squads. They're so good, and they're so fast.
Do you want to change the image over there?
Oh yeah, let's change it.
Infiltrators are gone. Land speeders are another new thing.
Anthony, you could have just said that. You didn't have to like come and show us a picture.
Oh, you're spoiling it.
No, Phil didn't do them in order properly. I have to find which one it is.
But going back to the tornado, it comes for 70 points as we said before. Heavy 6 assault cannon, which is strength 6, AP minus 1 damage, and a multi-melt to boot. It's fairly fast with 16-inch movement, fairly tanky with toughness 6 and 6 wounds in total with a 3-up save. With the speed that you have, you use them as a forward screen, take out any heavy enemy that you have, as well as use the assault cannon to clear any chaff. I've seen these things in heavy doctrine for turn 1. They can easily, with maybe 2 or 4 models, kill entire guard squad or even cripple a space marine squad. The multi-meltas are there to just plink off and cripple any vehicles that your opponent has or monsters. And even when they die, it's only a 70-point unit for 1 of them. If you take a squadron of 2, it's 140, but it's still worth it to have that mobility. A lot of the stuff that you're going to see after this point are going to be a lot slower because they just come with a lot of firepower for the trade-off of mobility. If you do decide to go a very heavy vehicle build, you're going to find yourself running low on speed. With the new buffs that we got from Mark's Omen, where point cost decreased, and even multi-meltas are free. Like, you cannot say no to so much speed. Now you're just like hitting your opponent from the back with heavy firepower, and you got something in the forward area, in the middle area, that just hits even harder and are just annoying. Your opponent's going to have to spend 1 or 2 turns like peeling them off. I mean, you need speed right now. Speed kills in 9th edition. And you're going to need it against Dark Angels players. You're going to you need border control, but you're going to also need screening. And these are perfect to do that. Move up, shoot, and you get so much. You get so many shots with the unit. Even 2 of these, getting 12 shots with the assault cannon, you get 2 of them. Rerolling 1s, hitting on 3s, 2 multi-melta, 4 shots from your melta for just 2 of them. It's really good. So you prefer to take them in squads of 2?
I like squads of 2. Why, you like 3?
I typically keep them as squads of 1, but I play Raven Guard, right? Okay. So I am more of focusing on the infantry. But I do see where you're coming from with that. It's really good. I like
to go with 2 squads. It depends how many you're taking.
And then if you're planning to, like, a lot of people don't really take vanilla Iron Hands. They do like successor chapters, right? You take what was it? not Signs of the Forge, Master Artisans.
Yeah.
I think that was what it was. You get 1 free reroll to hit per unit. So if you have a squad of land speeders, and 2, you got 4 multi-melted shots. You get that 1 free reroll, whether it's like hitting on the 3 or 4.
Yep.
If something happens like that,
You
and
can
then of
reroll
course
a
you
2
got.
if you want.
And you also have the captain rerolls. From being just Super Doctrine Iron Hands.
Yeah, so if you get a 2, you can throw it in there and reroll an extra one. It's really good. But yeah, besides speed and the amount of shots you get, and you're obviously re-rolling, because they're all heavy. Everything we're picking here has a common theme, heavy.
Last thing I could
so
say
good.
about them is, because they can fly, if your opponent does decide to ignore them, or you have a 1 wound land speeder left, fly them somewhere and just charge them into your opponent's heavy vehicles.
Yeah.
Your opponent's going to have to be tied up for a single turn with
be a
fighting a land
nuisance.
speeder, and engage all fronts if you did take it.
Correct.
It's going to be very annoying, is what I like about these units.
I agree. You can screen, you can go into, if you want to use them as like just locking up a hecaton like I did to Anthony yesterday. Yeah, they're very good. On to the next one. We agree this guy's next.
I agree.
Okay. It's pretty common. Everybody sees it in Iron Hands. Redemptor Dreadnought. We go with, obviously, the big plasma cannon. It's reroll 1s. It's a little swingy. I don't like swingy weapons. D6 shots is either really good or really bad. There's no in between. For me, it's like I'm always rolling a 1 or a 2, or I'm rolling a 5 or a 6. And 3 shots would be nice, but you're really trying to go big with this gun. You're hoping for a 5 or something, right? But you can get that 1. But why they're good? Core. You can put a lieutenant beside him, and you know he's going to get reroll 1s. He's sitting on 3s. You can put a tech marine there, make him hit on 2s. Now you're making him really efficient. So even if he does get 3 shots, they're definitely going to hit and most likely going to wound, because you're getting reroll 1s on top of that as well. So that's how they become really efficient, even though they're not like top tier unit for this army, I think.
They're a very strong choice overall. I think they're one of the most powerful units in the Space Marine Codex. Very tanky with 13 wounds,
Close
-1
combat's
damage.
amazing.
Yeah, if you can get them into close combat, you're gonna mulch things. Just slam them. Just with that big fist, D3 plus 3 damage on something.
Yeah, it's nasty.
My other comment with that is, if you are going vanilla of Iron Hands, you're gonna have count as double bracket on this thing.
That's right, yeah.
So if this thing does not go down to like 5 or 6 wounds, it's still gonna count as I think full bracket.
Right.
And you're just gonna march up with that thing. Get into combat with it is the most important thing. It actually has a surprising amount of firepower. The onslaught Gatling cannon it has under its fist, it's still heavy 8 shots.
8 shots.
You still have the Stormbolters, the 2 of them that are mounted on its chassis, and you have the Icarus rocket pod.
You have a lot of
it
shots.
has a very good amount of infantry. It has the macroplasma incinerator to deal a lot of damage to vehicles and heavy infantry. And if you really want to take the heavy onslaught, to just maximize on just infantry mulching.
Infantry killing.
Just like complete heavy dominance.
And then that one big chance at a big shot into something. D3 plus 3 damage on it. Oh, sorry, it's 2 straight damage, and you can overcharge it for 3.
Yes.
The plasma cannon, and you take one wound on yourself every 1 you roll, right? So it's not that bad to take that.
Just keep it around your character.
Keep it around the character, exactly.
I've used this a lot with my Raven Guard, especially I usually take 2, both with macroplasma, because before Arc's Omen, anti-tank was really difficult for Space Marines. So you really need to have at least 2 of them. And when you have the right support with them, have a tech marine behind them constantly repairing, or even find a way to get these guys like more armor with like light cover, they become very hard to dig out.
Oh yeah.
Toughness 7, you need last cannons. Your opponent needs to focus with that. Aside from that, I think they're a very good choice being the middle of the pack.
Yeah, for sure. And another deterrent for if you're going to keep characters around them, people don't want to like charge when they see like Redemptor Dreadnoughts besides your your lieutenant or your tech marine. This guy can smack in close combat, so he's got a big base. You can hide characters around him. He's good at screening. If things are tight, you can use the base to screen. But just talking about the unit itself, it's up there. It's in the middle. This guy, what's up?
For the Dreadnought,
Yeah.
one guy says because it has no invuln, it's vulnerable. It's not a librarian.
Yeah, a librarian would work too.
Yeah.
Getting at Psychic Fortress. But if we're just talking straight pure Iron Hands, I'm willing to let my opponent throw a lot more attacks into it and have him count as double bracket.
Yeah, you don't want to sink too many points into keeping this guy alive. Like, if you're gonna bring him, I wouldn't bring like you could bring, like you said, you could bring like a psychic barrier there, and you can like give him an invuln save and whatever. But
the only problem I
really
have is Iron Hands don't really have the best psychic. Their diplomat, their magic phase and their like special discipline isn't that strong.
No, they're more like.
If you want to take
based.
a librarian, you're most likely going to use them for psychic actions, whether it's warp ritual or interrogation.
Yeah.
And even then, Iron Hands aren't getting like +1 to cast on anything like that. They're better off with just. I have a lot of efficient models. My heavy doctrine just buffs these guys even more to become super efficient.
Yeah.
If I lose this model, it's fine because he just made up his points maybe a little bit more already.
Yep.
And I have 2 more of them on the field that are ready to like pounce on you when you're least expecting it.
And they are pretty like, yes, they don't have an invuln save. They are pretty tanky though because you're reducing damage by 1.
Yep.
That's really good because I have a headache with playing against yours. And not only that, Iron Hand 6 up, feel no pain.
Yes, that's another thing you gotta think of.
Not only you're reducing damage, but damage to weapons mean nothing against you. They just become 1, and you still get to feel no pain against it if you don't have an armor save. But I don't know. I wouldn't sink too many points into keeping these guys alive. They're just there to like he said, like do your your character's bidding and keep them buffed in the middle of the table there.
With the Tech Marines around, these guys are going to keep surviving. But it's a great insight that you have there.
Yeah, keep healing them. Oh my God, you can be really nasty with that. This one is definitely one that you want to put an invuln on, but he does have one.
Yep.
He's also a Dreadnought, and it's the Contemptor Dreadnought. Relic Contemptor Dreadnought.
Yes.
Specifically, my build is with Volkite, Twin Volkite.
Yep.
And you can do some nasty stuff with them. You've seen my Contemptor Twin Volkite for Death Guard with 6s exploding, and it just gets ridiculous. You can make, not as nasty, but hitting on 2s with a Tech Marine, right? Make him hit on 2s, re-rolling 1s, so you maximize how many wounds you're gonna have. And then when you're going into the wound phase, that's 16 shots, you're gonna be having 16 wounds rolls, and you can put a Libby, you can put a lieutenant beside him, and you're re-rolling 1, so you're just gonna be fishing for those 6s for mortals. And that Volkite is now -1 for the entire game.
Yes.
Armor Contempt is gone. -1 is not bad now. It's not a wash. -1, 2 damage becomes an automatic Marine killer, and you can even take a lot of wounds off some middle tier tanks like toughness 7, toughness 6 stuff. So I don't know. This is really, really good. I would even put him higher than this.
If you're talking about just a straight vanilla Dreadnought like that, he's fine there. If you're gonna start doing a lot of interesting combos that Iron Hands have, turn a Dreadnought into a character is the first thing.
Yeah.
There are some other wacky things you can do with him. There's a Warlord trait for Iron Hands that allows for 6s to hit, generates an additional chance to roll. So you can go from 16 attacks with your double Volkite, and then the Cyclone Missile Launcher on top of him for 2 extra crack missile shots, which will guarantee maybe 3 or 4 extra to hits, because 6s explode into another one, you gotta roll still. So you get 20 shots in, and then you have to wound most things on 4s or 5s, or 3s even, if you're shooting infantry. Another stratagem you can pop is the one, I don't think that applies. I think it only applies to infantry, but then you're still gonna have 10 or 9 wounds going through, with some of them being mortals. And mortals stack on top of the damage that you're doing. So AP -1, 2 damage, you're gonna really hurt something. Yeah,
the damage doesn't end, it just stacks on top. You take them at the end. And if you start stacking mortals with one of these, if you're rolling 16, plus you're saying 6s pop, you can get a lot of mortal wounds with this unit, and it's really good. And like you said, you can make it a character. It's got 9 wounds or less. You can hide them. You can give them look out, sir. So now you have a Dreadnought that's just spamming out mortal wounds and doing some pretty good damage, and you can't even shoot them. That's terrifying.
The Devastator Doctrine being a full game thing now just really brought this guy up. For the hero version of him, I put him at maybe 2 or 1, because you're always gonna see this guy.
Just the standard one, maybe not.
Standard one is okay, but if I were to take a standard one, I'm having to pay CP for Martial Legacy. So I'm not gonna be spamming 2 or 3 of these guys, because even with Ark's Omen, I'm still gonna be starved for command points. I would rather just go full on Redemptor in that case, but having the Contemptor there is perfectly fine in my opinion.
And I mean, you're gonna have to sink a lot of CP to make it a character. You're gonna have to, first of all, you pay 1 CP to take a Contemptor. You're going to pay another CP to make him a character because you have to use a stratagem. And then you're going to probably use another CP because you want to give him a warlord trait.
But if you do that, it's really worth it.
It is worth it. At that point, he's like 3 or 2.
You can be very aggressive with a character Dreadnought. Even if he's not really good in melee because he's just double gun, he is a very big threat to whatever your opponent's fighting.
100%.
Just versatile, strength 5, AP minus 1, 2 damage with mortal wounds on top. Very good.
I agree with you, sir. The next unit we have is this. Do you agree with that or no?
Really? Oh, that unit, yeah, definitely. I thought
you have them there, or do you have them higher?
I would say that they would go up there. They fit perfectly fine.
And 4?
You're going to make them take 2 places? Really?
No, they're going to be in 4.
Okay, so go for it. I think they're perfectly fine there. You're going to see. These guys drop in and they do lots of shock and awe.
They do shock and awe, for real. The Devastators, the only reason I have these guys at 4 is because of the combo that you run with them. And this is why they're at 4. It's technically 2 units, but one's a transport. And that's how you take them. In a drop pod, smack them down. You can alpha strike, do turn 1, pop these guys out with Gravis and 1 Melta. You're paying, I believe, not 100%, but I think it's 125.
So the
with a Melta.
Base model is 23 points a model.
Okay.
The Grav Cannon is free. If you want to equip multi-Meltas up to a maximum of 4, it's 10 points each.
10 points each. So I would maybe put 1 in there.
Really? I would put, honestly for me, I just max it on Melta.
You would? Wow.
Yeah, I would max it on Melta because if I'm shooting something, I want it dead.
But the Grav is really good because it's
Grav is really anti-marine.
Marine, exactly. And you can kill like hordes of stuff. And it's good to have a little bit of both, I think.
It's strength.
And it's free.
It's strength 5, AP minus 3, 1 damage. On a 3+ armor save, it becomes 2 damage.
Yeah.
You get 4 shots each one.
And you get 4? Or is it a D6?
It's 4 shots each.
4 shots each.
So if you have a squad of 4 Marines with Grav cannons, it's 16 shots. You include the cherub, which is free now, which becomes 20 shots because they eat the baby, the cherub, I mean, and they get an extra 4 shots in there, becomes 20.
Wow.
And then with the Signum, 1 model in that unit, which is obviously going to be a Grav cannon, gets to hit on 2s.
Nice.
So with that unit, that model that's hitting on 2s, gets
Grav cannon, you would put that on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would either just go full Grav cannon or full Melta. Just because I want to do that.
I think they're very versatile. You can do either or, but yeah.
And then with the Sergeant, they made combis free. So you're going to give the Sergeant a combi Melta.
Of course.
That's the best choice.
Yeah.
So you got 20 shots of Grav cannon, 8 of them hitting on 2s.
Yep.
Rerolling 1s because, of course, they're Iron Hands.
Yep.
And then you also get a free Melta shot because your Sergeant has a combi Melta. You got a lot of shots coming down, and not including the Stormbolters that are coming from your drop pod. For like 180, 190 points, depending on how you want to kit it out, that's a lot of firepower turn 1.
And then you can alpha strike it. You can do it turn 1. You can drop that down, screen, and not to mention this is a great screen. You're just going to keep your opponent back there. You can get to objectives before them, and they're going to be hit in the face with some hard, heavy-hitting manlets because they're not Primaris. They're going to be coming in and smacking. I
do see your idea, now that I'm thinking about it, of having 1 Melta and 3 Grav, because now you just have that multi-Melta, 4 shots, hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s, and just like nuking something, along with the Sergeant who has a Melta shot too because of his combi. I do see where that's coming from, which is a good way to min-max it, honestly. I'll have to think about that.
Min-maxing.
And then, even if these guys, once they kill things, your opponent has to deal with 5 power armor dudes and a drop pod.
That's right.
Which is going to take at least 1 turn to kill the Marines. And then if your opponent really wants to dedicate firepower into a drop pod, they got to put in probably like a decent amount of like medium or heavy firepower into it. For 70 points, and also the point cost of that unit of Grav Cannon guys, very good.
Oh yeah.
Do you think they can one-shot
Mortarion?
Who's asking you? Oh, read. Do I think it can one-shot Mortarion?
How many Meltas are we talking about?
We're talking.
Are we talking about a full, like we can kit whatever we want and we know it's Mortarion?
Yeah, if there's a lot of Grav, I don't think so. But if there's a bunch of Melta, of course.
No clarification.
If you're telling me that it's equivalent point costs, how much is Mortarion? Like 400 points or something?
Close to, yeah.
I'd say just like 2 squads of Grav, like 2 squads of these Devastators, full Melta.
That would be 400 points worth, yeah.
Yeah, just nuke Mortarion.
Yeah, I don't think 1 unit could nuke Morty because he's got.
He's toughness 8.
He's toughness 8, -1 to damage. He's got disgusting resilience. it'd be really hard. He's got a 5. What does he have? 4 up, 5 up,
4 plus invuln, and I think a 5 plus
5
feel
up.
no
Feel
pain.
no pain. That'd be really hard with reducing damage. But if with Melta, maybe.
Yeah, you just need to pump. Honestly, it just becomes a game of numbers.
And
just
he's
pump
minus
enough
1 to
shots.
hit. That's nasty. Mortarion is so good, but.
But yeah, I think these guys, you see these guys a lot in play, but you're going to see the next couple of guys are just going to be a lot more frequent.
To answer your question, I do think they can one-shot Morty, but they're probably going to need 2 drop pods with Devastators.
Just don't even bother with drop pods, just Devastators.
Just get them up there. I need them delivered
Just,
right away.
Yell at Mortarion, just come to us, come to our Meltas, and we're just going to start blasting.
That'll work. Next, unit number 3. This is gets iffy here. What do you think?
Which one is that?
I have this here, but one are these 2?
Okay, the one that's beside the one to the right.
This
that
one?
one is much better. Yeah.
You think they're number 3? I think they're number 4. I think
do
these
you wanna
guys
switch
are
them
number
up?
3. Yeah, I'll switch them
them
up. So we just showed you number 3 first. These guys are number 3. We changed our minds. I think these guys, for different reasons we'll talk about, are number 4.
That's
But
number 5.
they're very good.
Yeah.
They're very good.
That is the Humble Eradicator Squad.
Yep.
The biggest nuisance and the most powerful unit that came out of Indomitus, next to the Blade Vets, of course, but these guys hit hard with their Melta rifles, and especially the heavy Melta rifles.
Phil, where's the Eradicators? I don't know if you put them here.
Everyone knows the stat line, everyone loves them, Xenos hate them. 45 points a model, if I recall
There they are.
correctly. Now that they make I believe the heavy Melta rifle free, that's where it kicks in and becomes really good for Iron Hands. These guys, I would play them as coming in from reserve, just walking on the board, focusing all 3 models into one target just to destroy them.
Yeah, they're really good. You do some nasty stuff with your Chapter Master.
Yeah, and this is talked about with Raven Guard.
Yeah.
If we do with Iron Hands, it becomes more ridiculous.
Did you get them hitting on 2s, rerolling, or rerolling everything?
I'll go briefly into what Raven Guard can do with Eradicators. I can forward deploy them with the Chapter Master, give them full rerolls. If I get first turn, they're in a position where I can see something that's high value target,
gone, yeah.
shoot it, it's gone. With Iron Hands though, I think you might need one more turn of prep because I don't know if footslogging these guys will be worth it because they're just
Reserve.
too slow. Yeah, you probably want to do strategic reserves, have them walk on the board, just come in, see your opponent overextends a unit that's very expensive,
Yep.
just blast them with your heavy Melta rifles. The regular Melta rifles are good, but in terms of for Iron Hands, I don't think you really want them. You probably just want the heavy one.
Yeah, I would go with the heavy because you get to reroll everything and then they do more damage.
Yeah, I believe the heavy one is D6 plus
Plus 4 if you're within half range.
And outside of half, it's D6 plus
It's
2.
D6 plus 2, which is still
means
ridiculous.
If you shoot into, say, a Terminator or a Death Shroud Terminator or something like that with -1 wounds, you're just going to kill it.
Yeah, it's dead. It's automatic 3. Well, not dead 100%. It would be -1 would be 2.
Yeah, you're true. So we got like
You got to roll a 2
very
up.
good
You got to roll a
odds.
2 up to kill a Death Guard Terminator. But still,
The reason why I put them as 4 compared to the Devastators is they are a little bit more expensive per model, and you get more firepower out of the Devastator squad itself.
Yep.
A lot more tankiness just because you have a drop pod coming in with the Devastators, while these guys themselves are just 3 guys with toughness 5, 3 up save, and 3 wounds.
Are they good to kill Dark Angels Terminators though?
I think these guys are okay.
Wounding on 4s, you're sinking a lot of points. This is why I'd rather go with
Devastators?
I'd rather go with not Devastators, but I'd rather go with the Land Speeders because they're cheap. You're paying 70 points, you're getting 2 shots, you got other shots with it, but you're not sinking so much points into your Melta because if you miss against Dark Angels, if your Melta whiffs on Dark Angels Terminators, you're in trouble. They're not moving.
Yeah.
And that's why we're going to see what's in the top of the list to deal with that. But I don't know if I would put this much into these guys. They're not my favorite unit here, that's for sure.
They're a cheap unit.
I'm going to throw them down further. I think they're 5th. Would you agree?
Yeah, move the Contemptor up.
Yeah.
He deserves it up there.
I think it's like that, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think the Redemptor's higher too.
Oh my God,
What do you think? If you disagree, then I will.
You're throwing shade on my boys. I prefer the mobility and the speed of the Dreadnoughts over the Eradicators.
Yeah. I'm gonna go like this.
Eradicators have always been having issues with just mobility,
Sorry, boys. You're too slow.
but they are very. They're
They
still
do
very
hit
strong.
very
unit, though.
hard. Yeah. If you put them in reserves, bring them on the sides. They're still really good. They're
Yeah.
top 10. Like they're in the top 10. But I don't think they're better than these guys. They have so much more applications to
Yeah.
them.
Enough shade on my boys.
Enough shade on the boys. All right, number 2. Of course, we have to take a
Yeah.
Primaris. Primaris Tech Marine.
Yep, we got the Space Repairman. We were talking about him earlier in this little down there when we're talking about rank 6 or 5 with the Redemptor Dreadnought. Just a very solid choice, probably one of the best HQ choices for a vehicle heavy army. Once per turn in the command phase, you can give +1 a hit to a vehicle unit.
Yep.
Or model, actually, I think it is.
Model.
Yes,
It's
so-
model.
If you want to have that first turn alpha strike with a land speeder, you just want to throw them up, get like hitting on 2s with multi-melta.
With one land speeder.
Yep. Or of course, maybe you want to have like 1 or 2 of these guys. Even the regular variants of the
Yeah.
Space Repairman,
I take
Tech
2.
Marine,
I take
is still
2.
very good.
Yeah. They're the same price. There's no point.
Yeah. You just want to take more of them.
Yeah. I would take 2 Primaris because they're the same price.
Yeah. You just keep them around your vehicles, repair when needed, and make them very deadly. You can have, like, once again, make that Dreadnought, the Redemptor and the Contemptor hit on 2s.
Yep.
Your opponent has something to fear and has something to focus down.
Yep.
But even if they start hitting on the tanks and the Dreadnoughts, if they survive, the guys, the Tech Marines, will continue to repair.
Yep.
And when that happens, your opponent's going to keep pumping more shots into it.
That's right.
If you watch that bat rep I had against your Iron Hands with my AdMech,
Okay.
I almost killed the Redemptor Dreadnought.
Oh, yeah, in the
and
first
he
turn.
just healed back up. And even that sneaky tank, the Repulsor Executioner,
down, yeah.
almost died. But because he counts as Iron Hands, he's full bracket still.
full
And
bracket.
just hides and repairs.
Hides, repairs, and I had Pharos in that game, so he was automatic 3,
Yeah.
being healed 3.
Which is nuts.
Which is great.
bonkers.
You can even take a Warlord trait where you get D3 plus 1, so you can technically heal 4 per turn with him, with one heal, if you get that Warlord trait, but it's not as consistent as Pharos' 3 every time. But yeah, I think they're a great unit. You need them for Iron Hands. You need to
Yes.
repair. You have so many like robots and things walking around. You need to repair them, and the +1 to their ballistic is so needed, especially with the rerolling 1s. Hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s is basically saying auto hitting. So you need it.
This army does not have any captains, and they're not needed.
You don't need it.
So these guys are your next best bet.
Yeah. Remember when I took Smash Captains with this army? It was so like irrelevant, like
Yeah.
redundant.
You were forced to do it because it was Devastator Doctrine was only turn 1.
Yeah, it was different meta.
I
But
wonder
yeah.
I wonder if they're going to turn Codex Warfare into Devastator Doctrine only being worth 1 point per kill.
Well, if it doesn't cap, yeah, it should be a little nerfed. Devastator Doctrine, I mean, Codex Warfare is way too easy to get right now. But let's not complain about things that are easy. Let's put number 1. I think we
right.
both agree with this. Drum roll.
Drum roll.
It is,
Come on, the
A?
suspense is killing me.
what do you think it is?
It is Repulsor?
Glad you have Repulsor actually 300 points for half the shots that this guy will give you. Move up, sir. There you go. Gladiator, Reaper.
Yep.
1 million shots. Let's go over how many shots this guy has because it's crazy.
I'm going to take the book because it is an amazing amount of shots.
Yeah.
It's jaw-dropping.
John Lennon was running them this week.
3 of them.
3 of them, yeah. So if John Lennon's running 3 Reapers, you know that they're good. But it's like, when you look at them, it is jaw-dropping. You're getting, how many shots from the main gun?
So the main gun is 2 heavy onslaught Gatling cannons. So whatever you see on the Dreadnought,
Yeah.
tape 2 of them together and put it on this tank. 24 shots at strength 6, AP minus 1 damage. That's moderate. That's modest right now. But now you
Yeah.
include the sponsons that has.
Yeah.
2 Tempest Bolters, which are rapid fire 4,
Yeah.
30-inch, strength 4, AP minus 1 damage.
Okay.
The strength may not be like that shocking, but when you include all this in Heavy Doctrine and the Devastator Doctrine,
Yeah.
these are AP minus 2. Get within half range of 15 inches, 24 shots of the main gun, and then 8 shots each of the sponsons. That's
Yeah.
16 shots plus 24 shots is You did math. 40,
A
I
lot,
think?
a lot of stuff, a lot of shots.
Yeah, that's a lot of shots.
Yeah, you're getting into close to 40 there. It's insane.
And if you want to add more to it, you can also give it an Icarus Iron Hail Heavy Stubber for a couple more shots here and there. And even an Icarus Rocket Pod for D3 shots, a strength 7, AP mass 1, 2 damage.
Yeah, it's insane. Like, and you're not going to not take them because it's free.
Yes.
So you're going to have all those extra shots as well, but you're really taking it for, yes, you're going to get 40 shots combined with the twin onslaught Gatlin and then the bolters, but those are rapid fire. You're not re-rolling. You're really bringing this for the 24 shots, 3s re-rolling. Does it have what the repulsor has, +1 to the main cannon?
Not this variant.
Okay,
the
so
sniper tank does, but not this variant.
So this one's hitting on 3s, which is, that's what it should be.
Bonkers.
But you can make him hit on 2s.
Yep, Tech Marine.
Tech Marine them. Tech Marine 1 or 2 of these, I think that is more deadly against Dark Angels Terminators, Deathwing Terminators than Melta.
Well, if you're talking
It's
about
just death by 1,000 cuts.
when you saw that game of Dark Angels versus John Lennon's Iron Hands, the Iron Hands were able to stay alive. I think maybe like 3 or 4 Terminators were left alive on that field.
Yep.
Against 5 turns of shooting of these guys
3 of
nonstop.
them.
And the Dark Angels player, like he was very good. He won the game
It's
by
John
like
Lennon from
1 or 2
Art of War.
points.
The thing is, he took out 2 of his tanks right off the bat.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's why I think he lost that game, because it was like 92-90. There was a Cherokee Open you're talking about,
Yeah,
right?
Cherokee Open.
Which happened a couple weeks ago.
This was the semifinals, I believe.
Yeah, this is
I
semifinals.
think when I watched that game, none of the gladiators died.
Are you sure?
They were all just alive at the end of the game.
So what did he take out that I was thinking? He blew something
He
up.
took out
in the
land
first-
speeders.
Was it just the land speeders?
Like I think 1 or 2 land speeders he blew up.
Okay.
He took out the Vanguard vets from the Iron Hands. He took out the infiltrators from the Iron Hands.
Maybe it was another game I was watching John Lennon play that weekend.
But now think about this: 3 of these gladiator tanks outputting this many shots per
it's
turn
ridiculous.
into Dark Angels, Deathwing Terminators in cover, getting all these buffs,
getting
and
a 2-up save.
at the end of the game,
That's
the
what
Dark
you're
Angels
getting.
player did win.
Yeah.
He
2.
won by like 2 points or something, which was a
90 to
very close
92.
game. And we were down to like 3 Terminators left.
Yeah.
I'm like 20 something Terminators were on the field and down to like 3.
It's insane.
It's funny. It's great. These are a great tank. Against any other army, you're just melting things.
I'm just trying to think, like, how do you stop that? Like, you can't get more buffed than those Terminators.
No.
They're making saves on -2. They're making 2-up saves. If you want to get those Terminators to their invuln save, you have to be AP -4 and up. Nothing's going to make those things take invulns. Like, very little things in the game, like Melta, last cannons. Besides that, the majority of your shots going into them, they're taking 2-up saves. It's ridiculous.
I hear Anthony yet saying Executioner tanks.
Executioners?
Yeah, the Lehman Russ Executioners on a
Oh,
tangent will make them force
Yeah.
4-up
They have a lot of
saves.
shots too, but
And
did
then
they get nerfed?
Damage 3.
Nerfed?
No, they didn't get nerfed.
They didn't?
The
I thought they lost a bunch of
The
shots.
Lehman Russ Executioner is still very formidable against them. But let's not go on topic. Let's talk about death by a million paper cuts compared to just getting hit by a sledgehammer.
100%. I think this is the better way to go, because you need Melta. You need a few Melta. I don't think you should overdo Melta in an Iron Hands list. More of this, more land speeders, more speed, a few dreadnoughts. But this is definitely there's no reason not to take 3 of these.
Funny enough, I remember War Games Live saying after next 10th edition, when we see this ridiculousness of this tank,
In 10th,
you're gonna see this shelved for a bit.
you're gonna see it shelved.
He's joking about it. Like these
Okay.
things are really powerful right now.
It happened to its bigger brother, the Repulsor Executioner. I was running 2 for Iron Hands in 8th edition, and then they got squatted. Remember the laser cannon got 4 shots if you didn't move?
Yeah.
They got rid of that really quickly. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets nerfed, but right now it is 100% auto take for Iron Hands.
One of the interesting things about this tank is it has toughness 8.
Yeah. It's a
The
graph
same
tank.
size or very similar size to a Predator, it has toughness 8.
Yeah.
It has 10-inch movement, so it's really fast, which you're going to need, as we're talking about with Iron Hands, lots of speed.
Yeah.
I think it deserves its place up there as the apex predator of the Iron Hands.
The apex predator. There's no reason not to. Like I said, if you want to take 3 of these, it's not going to be a bad take because they're that good. You get so many shots. I would recommend, unless somebody can tell me in the chat why you wouldn't, but besides giving one of your like your Contemptor, re-rolling, hitting on 2s, I would give at least one of these tanks hitting on 2s.
For a funny aside,
maybe 2.
Primaris Tech Marines and Tech Marines are separate data sheets.
Yeah.
You could have 6 Tech Marines running around.
You could.
Just for fun. Just have 6 of these guys walking
Why not?
around,
Everybody
buffing every
gets
single
2.
tank.
Everybody's 2 up, re-rolling 1s.
It'll cost you what?
Not
like
much.
170 points worth of
Yeah.
characters?
So what?
Free assassinate, but your tanks are all hitting on 2s and just get repaired nonstop.
That's so funny. Yeah, but you can't repair something more than once.
It's
even
okay.
Even for
just
another unit.
keep forcing those D3s. Just keep popping those D3s like pills.
Okay, everybody's getting 2 up. Everybody's a captain and everybody's a Tech Marine. Okay.
So let's do some honorable mentions here.
Yeah, honorable mentions. Let's go.
My first honorable mention will be the attack bike.
Attack bike.
It's you wouldn't expect a freaking bike with a multi-melta on the sidecar to be
Have 'em somewhere
one
here.
of my top picks. I think this unit is cheaper than Landspeeder. It's 50 points a model. It comes with 2 bolters taped to its front and a multi-melta. So when you think about that, it is ridiculous, but it's very cheap. It's 14-inch movement, so it's fast. So it can get into places that you're willing to let it die for.
These guys?
Yep.
Attack
the
bike.
squatty attack bikes.
So, Anthony, Phil did these side picks here. You want to know what he was? I'm trying to sort through them, but he has them marked as like Speedy Boy, Shooty Boy. You made those? Oh my God, you're banned.
I didn't know they were going to be put there like that. I don't know the names of all the Space Marine units, so when I'm editing them
Speedy
in
Boy.
when I'm editing them in Photoshop,
Say like a
one's
guy on a bike.
Land Speeder and one Storm Speeder, I'm like, I don't know, Speedy Boy.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
All right, go back to painting your guard.
But yeah, Speedy Boy here. Speedy Boys actually is what we should be called.
Speedy Boys, yeah, they're good. Multi-Melta is always good. When you said what you take it with Melta?
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, and then
Because meltas are free.
they move 14.
You would use these guys more like a turret, honestly.
Yeah.
Just drive them somewhere where your opponent is
Screen.
going to be like, screen. If they ignore them, they're just being a turret that's just going to sit there.
Yeah.
Shooting multi-melta and a couple of bolter shots here and there, and just being an overall nuisance.
These would be good for Wyvern Wing too.
Yeah, if it dies, it's only 50 points.
Yep.
I would rather have this die than a land speeder, which
It's
is
so
70
cheap,
points
so
with
cheap.
even better guns. Use the land speeders to get into areas that you know are needed to be like hit. Use these guys for backline holding, sitting with multi-melta, threatening your opponent to stay away, and just getting into off angles with the 14-inch movement. I rest my case. All right, who's the next one?
Next one is something that we haven't seen in a while, but I think they could be good in Iron Hands as well. And it's the
The Plasma Boys.
what are they called? Hellblasters.
Hellblasters.
Yeah.
Taken with, they got points decreased. They're I think 30
They
points a model now.
Yep.
So they are very reasonable.
Yep.
The heavy plasma incinerator,
Yep.
heavy 1, strength 8, I believe, AP minus 4, 2 damage.
Yep.
Becomes 3 damage if you overcharge.
Becomes AP minus 5.
No, the AP stays the same. The damage, the strength,
Oh,
and
because I'm
the
saying
weapon
Dev
damage
Doctrine.
does. Yeah. AP minus 5 with it.
Yeah.
So you have 5 of these guys sitting on the back line with 36-inch range,
Mm-hmm.
just popping things. Like take a 5-man squad or a 10-man squad, getting like just full buffs.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are just gonna like hit things really hard. Imagine what you like with the Redemptor Dreadnought. Pay the same amount of points for a squad of 5 of these guys to guarantee yourself 5 shots of the same weapon.
Wow. Yeah.
The only thing you're losing is, of course, the toughness, but you get 5 guaranteed shots rather than D6, but you also lose out on a lot of, say, the smaller guns that the Redemptor has, which you are paying extra for.
Yeah.
If you just want pure plasma, these guys are your bet. If you want to have a multi-purpose death robot, the Redemptor is where you go.
The Death Row. Yeah, I agree with that. 100%. Yeah, they're definitely up there as an honorable mention. I agree. On to the next guy. The only reason he's not in there, and I love running them in my list, is Father Pharaoh's. He's just too expensive, I think. When you can run regular Primaris Tech Marines for half the price.
Yep.
And they do the exact same thing. Only thing he does is has this little Chapter Master reroll he can give to one unit, right?
No, he gives +1
He
to
gives
hit
+1
to a unit.
He gives +1 to hit. That is really good. But
So here's the thing, it's a unit, not just a vehicle. So
It's
if you
a
take
unit,
a 10-man blob of Hellblasters,
Yeah.
like we'll just go with that example because we just talked about
or
that.
land speeders, 3 land speeders.
Give that whole entire unit +1 a hit,
Yep.
and you're just gonna march up with heavy 2, like heavy 1.
Yeah, rerolling ones.
Yeah, whatever macroplasma incinerator shots, you get 10 of them hitting on 2s.
Ooh, give it to land speeders and make them speed up and then shoot their. Oh my God, that is really good. He's a great character. He's just expensive, I think, when you're getting that, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, he's healing on 3s, He's healing 3 straight up. They don't have to roll for his repairs.
He also gives invulnerable saves to
That's
infantry.
it. He does give, but
which
you're
is
not going to
pretty-
take a lot of infantry though. If it was old Iron Hands, I would say.
I remember your lists before was just
If you're old Iron
nonstop.
Hands, and you had, there was an old strat where your dreadnoughts could pass off wounds to units beside them, and you would pass it off to an intercessor, and then your intercessors had 6-up feel no pains, and they also had a 5-up invuln because of this guy, and you just march up, and your Leviathan dreadnoughts never getting touched, and then your other dreadnoughts are all chappy dreadnoughts, which can't get shot because they're character, and then you usually made one of your regular dreadnoughts or another contemptor, a character as well, couldn't be attacked. So you're only basically shooting a Leviathan dreadnought, and all the wounds are going off into troops.
I just want
and
to
they
double
never
check.
get injured.
I just want to double check Pharos' ability one more time, just so
I'm pretty sure it's
like,
unit.
careful.
I think it is unit.
Because I remember that's what made the Sigma race so good. Yeah, one friendly unit within 3 inches
Yeah,
of
it's
him
a unit.
gets +1 to the hit roll for
Yep.
range shooting. So even better, take a squad of 3 or however big you can go with land speeders, all
Yeah,
hitting
3.
on 2s, throw them somewhere.
3 land speeders, all have hitting on 2s with Melta, 6 shots, rerolling 2s, 2s rerolling 1s, and then you're going to probably be wounding on 2s or 3s. Disgusting. He's really good.
If only he was a little bit cheaper, but
Yeah.
he is the boss repairman.
Yeah, I think his points are like pretty good.
130 points for him.
Yeah, if he
right
was
now.
like 115 or 110, I would auto include him. But he's just like double a regular Primaris. He's not Primaris Tech Marine. I don't think it's worth it in my opinion. When you have so much shooting in this army, like, does it really make a difference at the end of the day that you give 1 unit hitting on 2s? Not really.
All right, next one.
Intercessors with Stalker Bolters.
The heavy strength 4, AP -2, 2 damage 1.
Strength 4, AP -2, which becomes AP 3 because of Dev Doctrine. 2 damage is what's big. You can just wipe out Marines. You can wipe out 2 damage units, models. They're good. They're honorable mention. And you can sit, but the only thing is they're 100 points, not 90 points like our, what do they call, infiltrators. That's the only difference for me. Otherwise, they're more killy.
I'm gonna. Sorry, do you mind if I double check the?
What? Stalkers are free.
Not that one. Infiltrators are 100 points.
They're 100.
Yeah, infiltrators are 100 points. Intercessors are 90.
Oh, they're 90? It's the other way
Yeah.
around. Okay.
So yeah, it's the other
Not
way
that
around.
big of- not that big
Infiltrators
of
are
a
100 points. These guys are 90 points.
Infiltrators are better though.
But
so
it's
they
worth
deserve it.
the 100 points are worth it compared to the 90 of these guys.
Yeah, 100%.
Would you? Quick question for you. Would you pay the extra 3 points to take heavy intercessors? To get
10 points?
Gravis? Yeah, it's 3 points extra per model. Is it? It's 23 points. So it's 23 points for heavy intercessors, and these guys are 18 points. So 5 points extra
Yeah.
for the heavy one. Would you pay for that?
Oh, for the heavy ones.
Heavy intercessors,
It's
the Gravis guys.
so you're going from 90 points to 10 to 100 points for the unit.
Even more because it's 5 points extra per model.
For which unit are you talking about?
The heavy intercessors.
Oh, heavy intercessors.
They come
no,
with.
I wouldn't.
They come with strength 5, AP -2, 2 damage weapons
Yeah,
of
I
these
know.
guys.
No, that's too much.
Too much. You
Because
just
what
want-
would it be? 120, 110?
Yeah, around that price point.
Nah, not for mooks. I'm just putting it at the back to hold stuff.
Just keep it cheap then.
Yeah, I would go as cheap as possible.
All right, last one we got.
Leviathan, he's just fun.
This is your baby.
He's just fun. You take the storm array storm cannons.
Yeah.
They're fun. They got a lot of shots. They're AP2 now because you're going to be in dev the entire game. They do 2 damage. I think there's a strat to make them 3 damage. And you can make them hit on 2s if you really like them. You can make them close combat if you, but I would go with more shooty or iron hands. They're fun, and they're an honorable mention. I don't think you're going to see them in tournament lists. I just think they're fun to take, and you can do stuff with them if you center a little bit around them. They're good, and they have an invuln save. Like somebody mentioned before, if you want a dreadnought that stays alive, here you go. Invuln, 5-up invuln, 6-up feel no pain.
I think he has a 2-up save base.
He has a 2-up save, so you gotta actually put stuff into him. -1 damage, regular dreadnought stuff, but he's very tanky boy.
All right, I think I am satisfied with that.
Yep.
Leviathan is a cool choice. I've seen you play with them, and they
They're
hurt.
fun. They're fun.
They hurt.
Yeah, get them in range and shoot things. All right, that's the ranking. Iron Hands, I think you're saying that Dark Angels are just a little bit better?
Dark Angels have a 60% win rate right now, so they're on the chopping block for getting
Nerfed?
looked at.
Yeah, they're gonna get looked
And
at pretty
then
soon.
Iron Hands are 57%, so they are in that Goldilocks zone of being pretty balanced.
Just don't nerf them before Saturday. Have a tournament.
Well,
but
the next data sheet is coming out in April.
Yeah.
So we will be able to get a nice jumbling of the meta. We'll see what happens. I think we should probably like just make a wish list of what we think we'll see.
I think Terminators are gonna get hit really hard. I think the points are gonna go up for them. Maybe no more free Thunderhammers.
Ah, that was funny. That was interesting. That was interesting to see.
I don't know what you're gonna do to them because listen, you're not gonna get rid of their transhuman. That's their thing. You're not gonna get rid of. What are you gonna get rid of? You have to make them just cost more.
Yeah, we're talking about Dark Angels.
Dark Angels,
right now.
Deathwing Terminators, the regular ones. Maybe make them, but then if you're gonna up their points, then what do Knights go to? Like,
true.
You know, you're just gonna see a small Deathwing army. You're not gonna be able to take 25 Terminators.
We
I don't know.
should
We'll see.
talk about that in another video. That would be
We
great.
will.
Anyways,
Stop nerfing my boys.
I think that's it. Thanks for having a nice rundown with Iron Hands.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. This is Iron Hands Top 10. We are going to be streaming tomorrow a bunch of games, prep for the tournament. It's going to be a bunch of tournament prep games. We're going to watch Anthony probably lose 3 of those games in a row. We'll see what happens. Hopefully you might get a win tomorrow, Anthony.
Yep.
Well, you might get a win tomorrow.
And hopefully I get to play my not Iron Hands, AdMech, the other robot boys.
So you do want to play. You want to take Iron Hands to the tournament?
It'll be a lot simpler than playing AdMech for sure.
Yeah, I know.
I love the complexity of AdMech.
And we're playing at the tournament we're playing at. We're actually streaming the top table. Phil's going to be streaming the top
recording
table.
it, are we?
We're recording it. It's going to be showed the next day or that night. Probably the next day because we're going to be pretty late that night. So you got to see 4 games at the tournament. It'll be top table, and that'll come out probably on Sunday or Monday. What's a better day? Let us know if you want to see it on Sunday or Monday. We'll post it. It'll be 4 games. But Iron Hands, anything else you want to add?
That's it. The flesh is weak. Let's
Flesh
just
is weak.
own things and don't care about their feelings.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We're Northern Knights Gaming.